Well, welcome back to Brewer Land and Cattle Company, Part 2, which is where we're going to work the cattle and palpate them for pregnancy. You can see the herd there in several different pens as they get ready to work them. Stay tuned as we watch what happens. So the cows are all in the pen and ready to be worked and run through the chute system. And you can see it's a lot of cattle. And we've got to have some experienced help on hand, which we do. And we'll show you how that translates into running every single one of these through the chute. You can see Tristan Sullivan on horseback here. And he's taking the cattle from the pens into a smaller alley. And then he'll push those cattle on up the alley to a little area at the back of the chute that feeds the cattle into the alley into the chute. And you can see he's very skilled at making cattle go into the right spot and then running the gates from horseback. You can see it takes quite a crew. We've got 5 guys up around the chute, 1 guy running the chute, 2 guys on the head, one of those deworming the cattle, the other one aging the cattle, and applying an ear tag that specifies their age and how far along they are as far as being bred. So Dr. Bonner, who is at the back end of the chute, is palpating each cow as they come through and identifying how many months along they are. The most important part of his job is to identify the open cows, meaning the cows that are not pregnant. They didn't breed back, and those cows are just a liability. They're costing you money in hay through the wintertime, in cubes if they're feeding cubes. And so his job is to help them make decisions culling wise on what to do with those cattle. Some of them are going to be heifers, and those don't breed back as well as the older cows, so they may keep them a little bit longer and give them a little bit more of a chance, but it depends on their culling practices. And so most of the open cows are going to go to the sale barn, and the rest will be identified as far as how far along they are. Cody Mizell here on the left is aging those cows. He calls out the age to Holly Manahan, who's running the computer and making the tags. She marks the tags with the age of the cow in the upper left-hand corner. Dr. Bonner calls out how far along they are pregnancy-wise, and then she marks another number in the lower right-hand corner of those tags to signify when that cow should calve. So, for instance, we're palpating these cows in November. If Dr. Bonner calls out 8 months bred, then we know that that cow will calve in another month. And so Holly makes the adjustment to put down the month that they should calve on that tag. So if he calls out 8 months, then they should calve in December, so there should be a 12 there. If he calls out 7 months, then they should calve in January, and so on. So he'll put the month number that cow should calve on the tag. So it's going to have the age and the month they should calve on those tags. You can see Jake Reed in the cowboy hat there running the hydraulic chute, and it's a WW chute. It's they're running it on a generator, basically a welding machine that's the generator. So the generator's running in the background. It's feeding the electricity to the hydraulic pump, and then they can work these cows and capture them very easily. So there's 3 levers that Jake's working. One's for the head catch, one's for squeezing the cattle, and one's for the for the rear gate on the chute. And so Dr. Bonner just called out a 0, which means the cow is open, and they'll put her in a pen, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with them, but they'll separate them out from the herd. Here's a typical Brahma cross cow. You can see the long ears. You can see the head. It looks very Brahma. You can see the valbazen that they're deworming these cattle with. They got another injectable dewormer they're using as well. And then they're vaccinating them on the off side of the chute for Vibrio and Lepto, which are diseases that cause abortion in cattle or infertility. And then they're also vaccinating them for numerous respiratory diseases. So all important things to do to try to keep the cattle healthy. And again, you can see Tristan Sullivan on horseback. Everything he does is from the horse. He doesn't get off and open a gate. He's managing the gates from the horse, and that requires a very well-trained horse. So they run the cow in the chute, they catch the head, squeeze it just a little bit so she doesn't try to get a back leg out through the bars and throw up a big fight. And then Dr. Bonner slips in and palpates the cow. You can see at the front here, Colin Mock is running the oral dewormer wand, and he'll catch that cow through the corner of her mouth, and the wand actually goes back down there to the back of their mouth, so the dewormer gets to the far back so she'll swallow it. And then he also holds that cow's head with that wand, which allows Cody Mizell the opportunity to look at her teeth and age her. And so it's teamwork to try to get the job done, and done well. And you can see it doesn't take Dr. Bonner long to palpate a cow, but watch Colin hold that cow's head with the valbazen wand. Cody ages her, comes back. Holly's written a tag that tells the age of the cow, the month she should calve, and off she goes. So on the off side, you can see the gentleman in the cowboy hat. His name is National Champion, true name, great guy, and he's vaccinating those cows. You can see that cooler back there has the vaccine in it, special made cooler to keep the vaccine cool and at the right temperature so there's no vaccine damage, so it stays good. So Cody comes in here. He's going to cut off the old tag on the right ear. And so you got to watch these cows. They'll sling their head and they'll knock you into next week. He ages the cow, cuts the tag off, ages the cow. Holly writes the tag, puts a new tag in. Cow's been vaccinated by National Champion on the right side, dewormed on the left side by Colin Mock and Jake Reed, who runs the chute. He's doing the injectable dewormer, and it just goes on and on. So these old cows, they tend to be a little bit rank, and if you're dealing with them on foot in that pen, you're probably going to get run over. So well set up operation. It's slick, it's smooth. Everybody knows their job, and everybody does a great job. So very impressive to watch these guys. They're all really good hands, and I promise you this isn't their first rodeo. So I'm going to just let this video run here for a little while. You can hear the sights and the sounds. Again, there's a generator running in the background to run the hydraulics, so that's part of the sound you hear. You'll hear Cody calling out the age. You'll hear Dr. Bonner calling out the stage of pregnancy. And you'll hear Dr. Bonner's boombox in the background playing some music. And let me tell you, Dr. Bonner's going to palpate 445 head today. And that is a huge, huge amount of physical effort. and you know he's just using one arm the whole time. And that palpating these cattle, it looks easy because he makes it look easy, but that's tough on your body, and he'll be just a bit sore when he gets home this evening. So let's just watch here for a second and listen to what's going on. And again, from the right side, you can see National Champion there. He's vaccinating the cows with lepto, vibrio vaccines, and the respiratory vaccine. Also giving them a shot of Clostridial for Clostridial diseases, and all things that need to be done for cattle in our locale for sure. So you see him use a hot shot just a little bit, and the reason being these cattle will just absolutely saw up and you can't get them to do anything. So you gotta use a cattle prod, and that's what it's used for, to get the cattle to move where we want them to move, and just make things flow much more seamlessly. You can see the sliding gate behind the palpation cage. That's to keep a cow from jumping over the top of the gate right there and getting in the middle of Dr. Bonner. So he's going to swing that palpation cage open. Jake opens the rear gate. Dr. Bonner runs his arm in rectally and feels for a calf or no calf, or identifies at least as precisely as he can how pregnant these cows are, so we can write that number on the tag. So these guys make it look easy, and 445 head actually went quite a bit quicker than you would think, but still took a good 7 or 8 hours to get the whole job done. And we broke for lunch and ate lunch for about 45 minutes or so. But you can see again, it's just cow after cow after cow. Same thing. Deworm them, age them, vaccinate them, palpate them, turn them out.
Come 11. That's right. Hold it! I missed it. Hold it! Okay, let's go. 46 6. Six.
I also wanted to mention Cash Rodriguez, who is the young man on the far side of the chute there. And he did an outstanding job at the back of the alleyway, getting the cattle into the alleyway here, as you see there. And he really put in a lot of effort and was impressive to watch as well. The last few cows are typically the boogery ones and the ones that are hard to get into the alley. You can see Tristan on horseback driving these cattle in. I mean, he's getting after it, and they cut back, and away they come again. So Cody hands him a hot shot, and he gives that cow a little bit of a buzz, and then the race is on. Get them into the alley, get the gate shut, and get them back into the tub there so that they can swing that gate and then crowd them into the alleyway. So it takes a team. I can tell you horseback is the only way with these Brahma influenced cattle, or they'll run over the top of you. So I want to give a big shout out to Clinton Little, the ranch manager, who allowed us to come and video this operation. Thanks to Dr. Bonner and all the cowboys and their great work. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Right along with us as we go.